Okay, so what I'm going to do is impact the access that a user has to a particular field on a form. So if I look at my purchase orders in this instance and go in, you can see that the user has a field that they've added to the financial dimensions, allowing for specific users to control or to validate that the financial dimensions on the order are correct. So if I go into edit mode, you can see here that I can select a couple names here. And the client wants to control who has access to modify that information on the purchase order line itself. So to do that, I'm going to restrict the roles that should not have permission to modify those fields from being able to modify specifically those fields on the purchase order line. So I'm going to go to System Administration, and I'm going to go to my security role. And the first role that I'm going to change is Purchasing Agent. So if I go here to Purchasing Agent and indicate that I'm going to override the permissions, and let's see if the purchase line table is already marked to be overridden or not. And I can see here in my accounting validation or in my purchase line table, it's marked to not allow for an override. I'm going to go ahead and indicate that I do want to allow it to be overridden. And you can see here that that actually disabled all of the fields on purchase line, which of course we don't want. So I'm going to mark this as normally having full control of all of these fields. And then specifically for my validator name 1 and 2, that's where I'm going to indicate that I want those fields to just be view only. So now what I'm observing here is I've made the purchase line field editable for my purchasing user pretty much across the board. And again, this is a purchasing role, so that would be expected. And I've made the change that the accounting validation name, that they only have view access to that specific field. So I'm going to go ahead and close this, and I'll close my role. And I'm just going to open up security entry point permissions. And of course, this will allow me to access AX as though I were the purchasing agent. So I'm going to change my role here and scroll down to purchasing. So here's my purchasing agent. Open my security workspace. And opening the security workspace just opens AX as though you were working under that specific role. So now if I go to procurement and sourcing, all purchase orders, or look for an order in approved status, and when I go to edit that order, I can see that on my financial dimensions, the ability to modify the user is grayed out. Even though I had access to it earlier. Now there's lots of ways to maintain security inside of Dynamics. I could have created a new privilege. I could have created a whole new role. But this is one way to control access to specific fields through specific roles, and that's via overriding permissions. Thank you.